Hey everyone, my name is Nolan. Welcome to my first All the Mods 10 video tutorial on my channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over how to start getting power early game in this mod pack because power will be essential for all the tutorials coming later on. Now, a lot of mods in this mod pack offer options like fuel generators and stuff that consumes fuel. However, I want to use reactors. Reactors will be the best way to generate power and the most efficient way to generate power in this mod pack, and so getting a reactor as early on as possible is going to be quite important. So like I said, this is the first tutorial of many that will come out, so make sure to check the playlist down in the description for a complete list of all the tutorials I'm doing. It will try to be progression based, so like this will be the first step you take after doing all the basic mining, base setup, and everything like that. So from here on out, all the tutorials should be in order of progression to help you guys along in your All the Mods 10 playthrough. So we are going to start with Powah. Powah is an excellent way to start building a lot of power early on. The first reactor I made was the basic reactor, and this thing was more than enough for all the power items I needed. Growth accelerators, my advanced storage system, everything like that. And so I will tell you how you can get this in this episode, as well as some other tips to help you along in your adventure. And also a complete item list should be down in the description. So all the resources you will need for this, you can go get before you actually follow along with this video. So as I've been playing All the Mods 10, in the first episode, I was able to get level 30 enchants on a diamond pickaxe. So I would definitely recommend trying to get fortune as early on so you can start getting as much uraninite as you can find. Uraninite looks like this. It comes in 3 varieties. It comes in poor, regular, and dense. And obviously, the better quality, the more ores you get from one block. And you don't need to find it at deep slate level 2. It can generate in the regular stone level as well. But yeah, basically, once you get fortune and once you find this, make sure to mine it because you will need to start collecting this uraninite. Here is some regular deep slate uraninite ore. It's probably good to get about a stack. You'll only need 45 uraninite to build everything. However, you will have to fuel your reactor, so you're going to want more than 45. Also, while you're out looking for uraninite, make sure to get lava. I believe you'll need 4 buckets total for this tutorial, but it doesn't hurt to get more. There are very easy ways to make lava generators in this mod pack. Now, this is way out of the scope for this video, but you can place an extractor on some dripstone with lava above it and pipe that into an applied energetic system to basically just generate lava over time. But like I said, that's pretty advanced. And I think you only need 4, maybe 5 buckets of lava for this tutorial. Also, while mining, again, check the resource list because you'll need a lot of redstone and coal and iron. All right, once you get back to your base, let's smelt up that uraninite. And then out of that, you'll just get regular uraninite. I've been calling this uraninite, but it's raw uraninite. You need this refined version here. Next up, we're going to need to get a lot of this dielectric. I don't even know if that's how you say it. Dielectric paste. I don't know. This is what all the lava is going to be used for, so you can basically just make this 4 times. So this is where the 12 coal, 8 clay, and 4 lava are going. I was able to make a stack and a half of that paste. Now, we use this paste and some iron to make these rods. Now, it doesn't matter if you make the horizontal or the vertical ones, because those can be crafted into each other. The horizontal can become the vertical, and the vertical can become the horizontal. Once you make those rods, you can make something called the dielectric casing. This will be a very pivotal ingredient for this mod pack. You're going to need a lot of these. Now that we have that, we need to make something called a basic capacitor. As you can see, it's quite expensive. It needs a lot of redstone. And we're going to need a lot of these for this mod pack. Now, if you just want to do the basic reactor, you don't need too many resources. The basic reactor only requires 5 redstone blocks. However, this tutorial is going to go to the next level reactor, the basic one, which is going to require a lot of redstone. And that's just because we need a lot of capacitors. So once you make those basic capacitors, you basically just craft those into the tiny capacitors. You will need 36 tiny capacitors, 9 dielectric casings, and 36 uraninite for the first reactor. Now, what's really cool about this is you will get a piece of dry ice. Do not trash this. Hold on to it. But also, I would not recommend stopping here. I would recommend instantly moving on to the next tier reactor. Now, 1 basic capacitor makes 2 tiny capacitors. However, 2 basic capacitors make 1 large capacitor. And you will need 36 of those large capacitors, 9 uraninites, and all the reactor pieces we already made previously to make the next tier reactor. Now, making this basic reactor will instantly boost your power from 250,000 to 1 million. Which quadruples the efficiency. So that's why I recommend instantly moving to this one. And basically, you just have to place it down like I was showing you there. It gives like an outline and it will auto build it for you. Make sure you have enough room, otherwise it won't build. But yeah, this is what the reactor looks like. It's very simple, very small. So I am currently still using these type of reactors, just upgraded, just because they're small, they're efficient, and they're easy to make. So here is what it looks like on the inside. I instantly recommend turning auto mode on. That way you're preserving as much uraninite as possible. The uraninite is going to go in this slot, but we do not want to put it in yet. The first thing you want to do is put in your water bucket. It just goes in the side right there. The water allows you to use something called dry ice, which we collected from a quest previously. Dry ice makes your reactor work so much more efficiently. Now, we will come back on how to get dry ice in a bit. It's not difficult, but for now, just go ahead and put it in that slot right there. Next up, I left enough room in the resource list for you guys to have 10 coal blocks and 10 redstone blocks left over, and you can just shift click those into the reactor. These will again just make it work a lot more efficient. Next, whatever uraninite you have left over, go ahead and throw that into the reactor and it will start generating power. And as you can see, it does so very, very fast. Now, we have to start transferring this power to other outputs. So we are going to start making these energy cables. Now, these energy cables are able to connect to, in my experience, every power output possible. Mechanism, applied energetics. Other mods will be able to use these cables. So we are going to make some basic energy cables. For this tutorial, we'll only need the 12 here, so really cheap recipe. You want to connect them to these white posts right here, and then you can connect these cables to anything that you need. Now, how do we start upgrading this thing? Well, we need something called the energizing orb. Again, a pretty cheap recipe. So I've done this piping thing here. For the sake of this tutorial, you guys can just copy what I've done and then just throw down the energizing orb on the ground like this. And also, again, just following this quest line, you'll need something called the energizing rod. I would obviously recommend going basic, but I think I just made a starter one for the sake of this tutorial. And you could just throw it down here. Basically, in a 9x9 area around this energizing orb, any powered energizing rods are going to power what's ever in this energizing orb. So this is how you make dry ice in order to keep your reactor nice and efficient. You need 2 blue ice to make 1 dry ice. So if I throw those in there, it will start to get powered, and then out comes 1 dry ice. Now, what's cool about this orb is you don't need to do 1 item at a time. I can do 6 ice, and it takes a little bit longer, but I get 3 dry ice out of it. Now, this energizing orb is how you make the next tiers of reactors. For the energized steel, as you can see, you need 1 iron and 1 gold. However, you can do this on a much larger scale. Instead of just doing ingots, you can do blocks. Now, it does take a lot more energy, but I mean, we have a 1 million energy reactor, so 90,000 is not much. But not only can you do blocks, you can do the compressed blocks. That takes almost all of the reactor's power though, but you can just keep going down the road here. As you can see, if I keep clicking the compressed versions, you can make all the way down here. This takes 65 million energy. Holy crap. At some point though, it does stop just because the reactor doesn't even have that much energy. So yeah, for a very basic beginner base, this will definitely be enough. This lasted me a very long time. It will allow you to set up a nice storage system, which I think is covered in the next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial. In the next tutorial, like I said, we will be covering the applied energetic storage system, which basically allows you to have stuff like this, where all your items are in one place, and you can have crafting interfaces, which just make things so much easier. So stick around for that tutorial, subscribe if you will, and I'll see you guys all in that next video. Bye-bye.